my name is Michael Shoeman, and I am a board member of the Circle of Miracles Ministries. And I wanted to do this video today about why stewardship matters. So as you can see, I am at the Circle of Miracles facility right now. Well, actually, no, I'm not really at Circle of Miracles. I am in front of a green screen in my bedroom. See? But I wanted to start this off with just a little bit of honesty. I want to stress that we have some amazing programs. We have an amazing Sunday celebration. We have great programs, and we also have a ministry school that's going to be starting soon. So I would like to call your attention to our website, circleofmiracles.org. And to become a steward, you just click on giving, and then you fill out that application and send it in. And I want to really emphasize as well that it does not cost any money to be a steward. If I'm saying anything today that resonates with you, we would like to have that conversation and invite you to become part of the community. So one of the reasons why I am making this video is because I was asked to step in as board president. And when I first heard that request, my reaction was, well, let's have a conversation about that, because there's some things that I would like to introduce to our members, and also would like to have a deeper conversation about where we've been, especially in the last 2 years, and really provide informed consent about about where we're all at and where we are really at in our spiritual journeys. So a little bit about me. I've been on the board for 2 years. The first year I served as treasurer, and the second year I served as the chairperson of the development committee. Now, as I've been speaking to community members, a couple of concerns have come up. The first concern is being a loving community that nurtures the unfolding of spirituality in service to the world, while still maintaining our commitments and still functioning as as an organization, as a business organization in our community. So that's a fine balance, and that's something that I'd like to talk a little bit about today. So the other concern that came up was also about bringing in and attracting more younger people who are on a spiritual path, and create an environment that is both fun but also safe, so that we can be brave as well, create brave spaces around our spiritual journey. So first of all, I should say that I am now currently in training to be a minister. And with that ministry, there is a 4-year commitment. So I am committed to creating a 2-year healing project and also a 4-year sermon. So as you can see here, my 2-year healing project is dedicated to healing community by way of the written and spoken word. Now, I'm going to introduce a few things that I'd like to introduce to Circle as well here. But what that really revolves around is just having deeper communication and really talking about, normalizing conversation around spirituality. There's a lot of people who are kind of afraid to come out of that spiritual closet, afraid of being called crazy. And we really just want to create an environment where you can be who you are and express your deeper truth. Now, right here, my 4-year sermon is dedicated to natural law and the forgiveness of all debts. And when I say all debts, I also mean financial debts. And I think that's important because part of my passion is reaching out to other interspiritual, interfaith, and Unitarian communities, and starting to have that conversation that will have a ripple effect as to how to make universal basic income happen. So again, that seems like a lofty goal and a far-off plan, but it's something that I want to start the conversation, and I think it might start right here, right now, with this shift in leadership at Circle of Miracles. Now, as chairperson of the development committee, the thing that we really want to do is create spaces where we can be honest with each other. So, as you can see right here, what I'm proposing is having quarterly stewardship retreats. What that means is we all come together and we all talk about, okay, well, what's working at Circle? What could use improvement? And start to come up with ideas that we can implement little by little. So, what I've been noticing over the years, working with many different nonprofits, not just Circle, is that there seems to be a conflict when there's too many authorities in the room and not enough facilitators, not enough listeners. So I really want to emphasize facilitative leadership over having to be an authority. Now, that's not to say that sometimes, a leader doesn't have to take charge. Sometimes they do. But I want to create more spaces where we're all listening to each other. I would like to do this on a quarterly basis. So once every 3 months, we all get together and we have that conversation. So it's not about an agenda. It's not about driving forward, one idea over the other. It's about really asking the question, what's working? What could be better? And how do we combine all of this together? And not having to reject certain ideas, but how do they weave together? That's facilitative leadership. Now, the other thing that we're looking towards is also updating our bylaws. So, for instance, this transition of the board right now, a lot of the board members that are coming in, they've been asked to come and serve. We would like the stewards to be able to vote on that, to vote on, who would you like to be president? Who would you like to be an officer? Who would you like to serve on this board? And also, what should we be focused on? So at the moment, the board is kind of doing all that work because in the bylaws, that's really who's responsible for it. But through these stewardship retreats and also by updating the bylaws over the next 2 years, we would like to give you, the stewards, the members, more agency in how we make our decisions. And most importantly, we want to call attention to our values. So a lot of the things that I would like to introduce to Circle revolves around natural law, universal principles, and that is reflected in the Circle of Miracles values. One very important value is that we celebrate that we are all one. Well, what does that mean? What does it really mean that we're all one, that we're all sovereign beings, that nobody is better or not as good as anyone else? We're just a reflection of each other. Part of the purpose of these stewardship retreats is to really start to look at each other as equals and appreciate each other's gifts. So what I'd like to also introduce to the Circle of Miracles community is something called a living library. Now, this is something I've been doing now for the last couple of months. Now, what a living library is, it was inspired by the human library concept out of Denmark. And really what it is, it's people getting together. One person is established as the human book, and the other person is a reader. And what the reader does is they ask questions, they reflect back what resonates with them about somebody's life. And we just have a conversation where it's not about judgments, it's not about agendas, it's not about getting anywhere. It's really just about letting the person unpack their lives, unpack their spirituality. Now, in the human library concept, the purpose of it was to break stigma, like if somebody was homeless or if somebody was a rape victim or a suicide survivor. The point of it is to be able to unpack and to really talk about your life without judgment. I feel like that this would be a good match for Circle of Miracles because there's a lot of spiritual stigma. There's a lot of religious stigma that sometimes we just need the space to unpack more about our journey. So what I would like to accomplish, and this is something I'm already doing, I would just like to make it official that I'm doing this with Circle of Miracles, is first of all, help other speakers, presenters, anyone who has a workshop idea to just develop it. So a lot of the times we get into these competitive situations where people are trying to pitch their ideas and, we have a lack of money and time and resources. In a living library, that's not an issue. We're all here to listen to each other and we're all here to help each other develop and grow. So the purpose of this living library is just to normalize spiritual conversations. So I really believe that as people are coming out of the spiritual closet, it's important for us all to know that those of us who are on this spiritual journey, that's on the path of awakening, we're not crazy. Strange things happen. And we want to be able to cultivate the space, where those kinds of conversations can just be normalized. No matter who you are or where you're from, we can just have that conversation about what's real for you. Now, finally, with the Living Library is also the opportunity to work with other spiritual communities, other religious communities, other holistic-minded communities. So what this does, what the Living Library Conversations allows us to do, is to come together as individuals temporarily put aside any roles, representations, or anything like that, and just connect human to human. And through those new relationships, new initiatives, new action items, new projects will emerge. So now, out of the Living Library project, what's going to happen is that there will be two projects that I've already established that I'm hoping to kind of introduce the conversation around. The first one is going to be the time bank, and the other one is about theater workshops. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that, and again, just putting it to you. What do you think of these ideas? If these are things that resonate, please let us know. Please become a steward, and we can have this conversation, and it will emerge. It will go where it's meant to go based on everybody's feedback. And also, if anything I'm saying here today, if it does not resonate with you, if you're feeling strong resistance, please come to our space and let's talk about that. That's another thing that I would like to encourage. So if you become a steward, we can have this conversation, and out of that dissent, out of really talking about what feels right, what doesn't feel right, new projects are going to emerge, new initiatives, and also healing. So I talked earlier today about my 4-year sermon project. So through the time bank, I'm already establishing a team of coordinators and kind of like a steering committee. I would like to introduce this to Circle of Miracles if we're ready for that. And one of the reasons why I'd like to introduce this is because our mission can be the driving force towards regenerative economies, or universal basic income. So that's a deep topic. It is very much politicized. It's not political, but it is politicized. And we really would like to have some people come to the table who are willing to put away or put aside their prejudices, around politics and around that kind of a topic, and really start to put together what it's going to take to have everybody be financially abundant. So I have been serving on a time bank board for about 5 years. I just resigned from the Phoenixville area time bank. And I also started a time bank called the Karmic Margin Call Project. And what my vision for time banking is that when we come together in these living library conversations, we invest time in each other, invest time in building the relationships. It's not about getting things done, because ultimately initiatives, projects don't really get things done. People get things done. So as we're deepening those relationships, it will work into more service-based relationships. So if you have a spiritual service, or if you have a service that you would like to, donate your time to, even if it's something like setting up chairs or doing any of those kind of activities, it first starts in building the relationship. So what we do is we invest time in each other, building relationship first, and then we begin to build trust in each other so that we can do more service-based transactions or service-based exchanges, like Reiki or like any kind of healing modalities that we have a wonderful array of at Circle of Miracles. And finally, as well, as far as facilitative leadership, what the time banking conversations will also offer is how to negotiate or how to resolve conflicts with nonprofit interests and for-profit interests. Now, that's something that I've had a passion for many, many years, and it's very difficult to get everybody around the table to have a mature human conversation around that. So one of my aspirations is to role model how to practice deeper democracy, so that other organizations can benefit from what we are role modeling at Circle of Miracles and bring it to their organizations as well. So finally, the theater workshop is something that I've been nurturing for over 20 years now. And I'd like to start that conversation to see if it's a match for presenting it here at Circle of Miracles. One of the reasons I bring that up is because we have authors. Specifically, we've had authors who have written children's stories around spirituality that I would like to see become adapted for the stage. I'd also like to do maybe even more film projects. As you can see, I like working with multimedia. I like working with film. I'd like to see who's interested in really creating creating projects like that where there's a spiritual theme and we enhance the communication. So I just like to ask a few questions and to see if this is a match. First question is, do you have spiritual experiences that you would like to share? And again, we would like to provide the safe space for you to share that with us and perhaps create the raw material for presenting on the stage. Do you have an interest in either performing, writing, or production? So this is a chance for all of us to support each other in co-learning. The purpose is not to create a big spectacle or even to create great theater, although that might be the result, but it's really to just inspire conversation and deepen conversation. And finally, are you intrigued by the commonalities between mental health and spirituality? Something else that I've been nurturing for a while is a group where we bring mental health clinicians and practitioners together with mental health peers. When we start to have those conversations outside of the system, where we're being honest with each other, and there's a healing to that. Again, that gets back to the 2-year healing project about healing community through the written and spoken word. And I'd like to express that more through the theater workshop. So that's it. If anything that I'm saying resonates with you, please go to circleofmiracles.org and click on giving and fill out the application to become a steward. And we'll have that conversation. And again, if what I'm saying as well too, if something does not feel right, if something is inside of you saying, you know what, I'm feeling resistance to that, please, same deal. You might not have to be a steward, but come into this space. Let's have that conversation, because as we are having those deeper conversations about what feels right, what doesn't feel right about our spiritual path or about our spiritual community, the more we will grow together. And that's what I'm hoping for more than anything else, is all of us to support each other on this spiritual journey and help walk each other home, as they say. So thank you for listening. My name is Michael Shoeman, and I look forward to connecting with you soon.